Rubbing so badly.
You got something for it?
No. Okay. I brought the wrong shoes, basically. I brought Innovate mud claws, thinking they'd give me a bit more traction. And they're just shit over long distances. The skin on the back of my left heel is shredding off, so I'm in socks at the minute. I don't really know what I'm going to do. That didn't go according to plan. So what went wrong was very simple. I picked the wrong pair of shoes. They rubbed really, really badly within the first 15 kilometres. They were already causing problems. And it was to the extent that it was not possible to continue. It's very frustrating to DNF a race because of shoes when my fitness is the best it's ever been in my life. But I will talk a bit more about, I guess, my post-race emotional state and what I'm planning on doing next after I've talked a bit about the event itself. Saddleworth 10 Res is a 42 kilometre route around the north of the Peak District. It goes past 10 reservoirs. There's a hint in the race name there. It is run by Craggrunners, and they are just an excellent group, company, race organiser. They really do pull out a lot of stops to just give incredibly, like, ludicrously good value for money races. So Saddleworth 10 Res is 17 quid, and for that you obviously get the 42 kilometre marshalled route, and there are 3 aid stations that are well stocked on that route, the last of which had whiskey. So if you're the sort of person who likes a little bit of a pick-me-up during the last section of a long race, then this might be one for you to try next year. After finishing your 42 kilometres, there is pie and peas included in the race price. So you get your choice of, they had a vegan pie, a meat and potato and a cheese pie. So they've tried their best to cover as many bases as possible. There was one gentleman who was celiac who unfortunately couldn't have anything, which was a bit sad for him, I guess, but it is obviously really difficult to, like, try and cover everyone's bases. There are things that can be done to, like, just improve things in these really marginal areas. So that's maybe the only, like, one issue I saw all day was just that one gentleman who wasn't able to eat anything after the race. The Craggrunners team are all really, really welcoming. It's generally like a core of maybe like a handful of people, and then anybody else is kind of volunteers that come in from sort of outside to get involved in the events. I think they probably do have some people who regularly volunteer, and then a few people who maybe haven't volunteered for one of their events before but are familiar with them anyway. I think because they're such a good team, it does kind of make you want to try and support them in as many ways as possible. Like, I'm considering trying to help out with some of their events now because I just really like what they do. I think they're a great group. I think they're trying really hard to just provide something that is really good value for money, but because it's such good value for money, it encourages people who maybe wouldn't ordinarily try something like that to come along and have a go, because it's a friendly atmosphere and because there's so much food involved afterwards. Like, it's those things that when you put them all together, it just makes the event like much more accessible and welcoming. And like I said, it encourages people who wouldn't normally try to do something like that to get out and try something like that. A really good event. The route is a good route. I am familiar with pretty much the entire route outside of the capacity of the race, and it is a great route. And just because of the sheer value for money, I would genuinely recommend any of their events, any of them. Just go to any of their events, and you will be welcomed. It will be amazing value for money, and you will walk away feeling like you had a great time, basically. All right, post-race emotional state. I am doing better than I thought I would be, so that's nice. I am still frustrated about the shoes because it seems like such a stupid thing to DNF a race over, but I have managed to reframe the whole situation so that I don't feel like I've wasted 16 weeks of training, which I think was the main milestone to kind of like get over after this incident, because it wasn't 16 weeks wasted. I learned a ridiculous amount about myself and my approach to running, so it's not wasted. I can take that and I can use it to inform future training blocks and do better next time. The shoes I ran in were Innovate Mud Claws. I think in my head I thought they'd be helpful for... There are some boggy sections on the route, and I thought having the extra traction would be beneficial. But now, like looking at it, there's quite a lot of the Saddleworth route that's either like good path or flagstones. And frankly, the bits that are boggy enough that if your foot goes in, your whole foot's going in. So an extra like 2-3 millimeters of lug depth ain't doing shit. So the mud claws were actually just the wrong choice on every level. And I really wish I'd thought it through a little bit more. It was a bit, I still hadn't decided what shoes I was wearing on the morning of the race, so it was a bit of a snap decision while I was kind of waiting for my friends to come pick me up, and it was the wrong snap decision, but we live and learn. So that's all there is to it, really. My fitness was really good. I will be honest now and say that the schedule I had planned was based on the splits of last year's female winner. And I was bang on target for those splits for checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, and then I started to slow down quite significantly on the flagstones between checkpoint 2 and checkpoint 3. And at the time, I thought that was because the flagstones are really monotonous, and I struggle a bit with monotonous running. Like, I just struggle to engage, and if I can't engage my brain, I can't make myself go quicker, because like I just don't want to, because I'm like, well, I don't really like running on this. I don't want to push myself on this because it's going to be uncomfortable and I won't enjoy it. It's the sort of thought process that's going, I think, through my head at that, in the subconscious, in those sections. So I thought I was just slowing down because I wasn't concentrating, or I couldn't make myself concentrate. And looking back, I think that was where the shoes were probably starting to play up, but I was so certain it was because of the other thing that I didn't realise the shoes were hurting already. So it wasn't until I got to checkpoint 3 and I was a little bit behind schedule, but at that point I was like, well, okay, I'm a little bit behind schedule, but we've got this stretch down the Pennine Way now, so I can just cruise that, and then I've got to climb up to Wessington Head Road car park, and I'm good at ascending. That is my jam. So I knew I had the climb to Wessington Head Road car park, and then the climb up Black Hill. So I was basically just like, well, that's fine. Even if I go slower here, I can make up time on the ascents because that's what I'm good at. Like, I'm generally better than the average runner at ascending, so I can probably gain some time back. But yeah, there was a little bit of steep descent down to checkpoint 4, and it was then that I realised my shoes hurt, to the extent I had to take them off my feet. And then I spent a while like trying to reconcile with myself. I was trying to work out like, okay, can I complete this in socks? Like, you know, that kind of like mid-race madness where you're thinking there must be some way I can finish this, because I'm fine, it's just my shoes. So I did 5 kilometers in my socks to get from checkpoint 4 to Wessington Head Road car park, because that was the next road checkpoint. So I kind of had to get there if I wanted any chance of either knowing if I could carry on or being able to get rescued, I suppose. So I did 5 kilometers in my socks, which was run walking because it's quite a stony path up there. So while I was able to kind of jog on the grass verges, when the grass vergy bits disappeared, I kind of had to like pick my way around the stones a bit. So yeah, that was 5 kilometers of pure force of will. Yeah, so up until I realised the shoes were a problem, I still had a good plan for getting back on schedule, and I think I could have quite easily got back on schedule. I don't think I would have drifted off schedule actually in the first place if the shoes had been different, but yeah, it is what it is. I know my fitness was there, I know the training block worked, and I know that I'm fitter than I've ever been in my life at the minute, so I just have to replicate that again for a race that I don't pick the wrong shoes for. Pretty much. Okay, I'm not going to ramble any more about this because there's not that much else to ramble about really. It was a really good day yesterday, apart from the fact that I DNF'd the race. Craggrunners are, like, as a group, nice people. Darren, who runs Craggrunners, was pretty gutted for me when I came back in after I'd been rescued by 2 nice men in a van who were manning checkpoint 2 and came to pick me up when their checkpoint closed. So yeah, got a hug from Darren, and then it was, yeah, it was just chill. They were really relaxed, and I just helped muck in with the catering side of stuff since I was there and not doing anything and waiting for my friends to come back in. Yeah, so it was nice afterwards. I did have a lot of time to kind of like just kind of busy myself a little bit and not have to dwell on it too much while I was still in a slightly more fragile state. And then kind of gradually, as I saw people come back in who had seen me on the route and they were like, oh, what happened? I was kind of able to just talk about it enough that it started to make sense, I suppose, in my head, rather than just be this really frustrating, anger-inducing thing. But yeah, it was a good day. It was really nice seeing people come in. The first 5 ladies came in under last year's course record, which was really cool. And the leading man also smashed last year's course record by like a really big margin. So both course records went down by like ridiculous margins. I think over half an hour for each, I believe. So that was really cool to see. And watching people I'd seen on the course come in and with like smiles on their faces and getting to tuck into their pie and peas afterwards was also nice. I got to meet the trail running couple who are YouTubers. It was really nice to see them and talk to them. I like their videos a lot, so yeah, really cool to link up with different people. And then the 2 people that I drove over with, Steve, who's in my running club, he came in I think maybe 5 hours 20, I want to say. I might have that wrong. I don't have the results in front of me. And then my friend Harriet came in 6 hours, about 6 hours 20. So she got like a 22-minute PB on her time from last year, which was awesome. It was really cool to see all that kind of unfolding, I suppose, and be temporarily part of the organisational end of it. It was nice. So yeah, great event. It's a really good route. I would recommend it to anybody, and I will be back next year to complete my unfinished business. In terms of what I'm doing next, immediately I'm going to take 2 weeks to do kind of low mileage but regular runs. I have to run regularly because I've got a knee ligament that sort of seizes up if I don't. So I'm going to run maybe like 3 to 5k at a time, I guess, but run like every other day sort of thing. Maybe we'll run most days, but just not very far. And then maybe just do some different forms of exercise, I think, for a couple of weeks. I haven't done parkour in a while, so I might do some parkour. That might be fun, bit of a change. And then get back on with regular strength training, get myself on a nice even keel, and then I will build back up to 60 kilometre weeks and hold it there for a while, get my fitness solid, I've got a race in August that I'm going to do a structured build for, but until then we're just going to get some good base mileage, have fun with racing over the spring and summer. There's loads of local races, or like races that are not too far away, that I'm looking forward to doing, that aren't like very long races, but I'll be able to, you know, just go to them, race hard, have fun, meet people, and that will be the main goal, I think, of those. I'll just use them as part of my training, and we'll go from there. I think I've got plans, but there's no point in rambling on about them now. I'm feeling okay. The race was great, and I'm feeling okay. Alright, thank you for listening to me ramble. If you want to see a video of the full race route, head over to the Trail Running Couples channel, because they already have their video up, and it gives you a pretty good look at the entire race route. So I will link them in the description, and if I can link them on the screen, I'll do that. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to link them on the screen, so it'll be somewhere up here, so you can go watch that if you want to see the full race route. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.